Can you imagine a man who was rejected for a job 30 times? A man who couldn't even get a job frying chicken at KFC, but went on to build a business empire worth over $250 billion. Yes, when life slams every door in your face, some people break and others change history. Today on Insight Stories, we begin the incredible journey of the ultimate underdog, Jack Ma, a story that will completely change the way you look at failure. Our story begins on September 15th, 1964, in the city of Hangzhou, China. At that time, communist China was deeply impoverished. Jack Ma, originally named Ma Yun, was born into a very poor family. His parents made a living by performing traditional musical storytelling, barely earning enough to buy food. Growing up, Jack was thin, small, and often got into fights with bigger boys, but his mind was already sharper than anyone else. When Jack turned 12, a strange passion woke up inside him. He wanted to learn English. In 1970s China, there were no English textbooks, no internet, and no teachers, but Jack found a way. Every single morning, rain or shine, he woke up at 5 a.m., grabbed his old bicycle, and rode for 45 minutes to the only international hotel in the city. He offered free city tours to foreign tourists, just on one condition: they had to speak English with him. During these tours, he became close friends with a female tourist from America. Because his Chinese name, Ma Yun, was too difficult for foreigners to pronounce, she told him, "Let me give you an American name." She called him Jack. From that day on, he became Jack Ma. This routine continued for 9 long years. It wasn't just a language lesson, it opened his mind to the Western world and global thinking. While his English became fluent, his academic life was a total disaster. Jack Ma failed his primary school exams twice and his middle school exams 3 times. When it was time for college, he had to take China's notoriously difficult entrance exam. Jack failed it the first time. He failed it the second time. Mathematics was his worst nightmare. On one of his attempts, he scored a shocking 1 out of 120 points. But giving up wasn't in his DNA. On his third attempt, after intense studying, he barely passed and got accepted into the Hangzhou Teachers Institute, considered one of the lowest-ranked colleges in his city. He graduated in 1988 with a bachelor's degree in English. Jack proved that you don't need a degree from Harvard to dream big. However, graduating was the easy part. The real storm was about to hit. Fresh out of college, Jack Ma entered the job market, and what followed was a record-breaking streak of failures. He applied for 30 different jobs, and every single one of them rejected him. He even applied to be a police officer. 5 people went to the interview. 4 were selected, and only 1 was rejected. Yes, that one person was Jack Ma. The doors of society were completely locked for him. The most painful and viral rejection happened when the American fast food chain KFC opened its very first branch in Hangzhou. 24 people applied for the job. When their results were announced, 23 people were hired. Only 1 person was rejected, and it was Jack Ma again. The managers told him he was too short and didn't have the looks to face corporate customers. Frustrated by local jobs, Jack set his eyes on the most prestigious university in the world, Harvard. He applied to Harvard Business School not once, not twice, but 10 times, and 10 times Harvard rejected him. They didn't even bother to give him an interview. Every major institution looked at this short, frail young man and saw absolutely no potential. With no corporate doors open, Jack finally found a job as an English teacher at a local university. Do you know how much he was paid? Just $12 a month. He worked long hours, poured his heart into his students, and became highly respected. But deep inside, he knew he was meant for something much larger. This tiny paycheck could never match the massive fire burning inside his soul. By 1994, Jack turned 30 years old. he decided to start his own business using his only major skill, English. He launched his first company, the Hangzhou Hope Translation Agency. It was a massive struggle. To pay the rent for his tiny office, the business didn't make enough money. So Jack had to travel to street markets to sell plastic toys, clothes, and gifts just to keep his business alive. Then came 1995, the year that changed history. Jack Ma traveled to Seattle, USA, as a translator for a government project. He stepped out of a developing China straight into a tech superpower. In Seattle, a friend showed him a revolutionary technology he had never seen or heard of in his life. It was a computer connected to a magical network called the Internet. This was the exact moment Alibaba was conceived. After arriving in Seattle in 1995, Jack Ma's American dream almost turned into a nightmare. He was actually scammed by a businessman who locked him in a room for days. Jack managed to escape with his life and reached a friend's house. It was there that he saw a computer connected to the internet for the very first time. His friend said, "Jack, this is the internet. You can find anything here." Curious, Jack typed his very first word on the keyboard, beer. He saw American beer, German beer, but absolutely no Chinese beer. Then he typed China, and the search result was completely blank. China didn't exist on the World Wide Web. This shocked Jack Ma. He realized that the internet was a gold mine, and China was completely missing from it. He knew what he had to do. Returning to China with zero money but a massive vision, Jack Ma quit his teaching job. In 1999, he gathered 17 of his closest friends in his tiny, cramped apartment in Hangzhou. For hours, he spoke to them with burning passion about a digital marketplace that would connect Chinese factories to the entire world. He told them, "We will compete with American tech giants. If we are a good team and know what we want to do, one of us can defeat 10 of them." His friends couldn't fully understand the internet, but they believed in Jack's vision. Together, they pooled every single dollar they had, raising $60,000. In that tiny bedroom, with no air conditioning and broken chairs, Alibaba was officially born. They named it Alibaba because it was a name everyone in the world knew, and it opened the doors to hidden treasures. Beautiful cinematic transition from the old apartment to a massive modern high-tech Alibaba skyscraper, ending with a close-up of a smiling Jack Ma. Voiceover from a man rejected by KFC and 30 different jobs to building a global empire that changed millions of lives. Jack Ma proved that your failures do not define your future. Your willingness to keep fighting does. This brings us to the end of our first episode. In the next episode of Inside Stories, we will show you the brutal war between Alibaba and eBay, and how Jack Ma became the richest man in China. If this story inspired you, please smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and comment part 2 below. Thank you for watching, stay strong, and we will see you in the next one.